Hi, it's Panda Movies here. Today I'm going to explain the horror movie called Red Snow. Warning, there are spoilers ahead. Enjoy the video. The movie started with a woman living in a cabin in Lake Tahoe who was killed by 3 vampires when she went out in the woods one night. In the present, Olivia Romanoff was a struggling novelist who was residing in a cabin and was obsessed with vampires. One morning, Olivia received a letter from a publisher stating that her novel, Touched by a Vampire, had been rejected, and she hid it away in a drawer with all the other letters of rejection from other publishers. Later that night, when she was working, she heard something hitting her window, and when she went out to check what it was, she discovered a wounded bat in the snow on the ground. Out of pity, she researched how to treat a wounded bat and proceeded to take it inside in a box, attempt to treat it, and place it in her garage. One morning when she was on the phone with her sister, she suddenly heard a loud noise in her garage. She was immediately filled with panic when she saw that the bat had turned into a man. A private investigator then knocked on her door and asked her about 3 missing criminals that are on the loose. When the private investigator showed her the pictures of the criminals, she was surprised to see that the man in her garage was one of them. She later learned that his name was Luke. The private investigator then teased her about vampires upon seeing that her house was filled with all things vampire, from her books to her house decorations. In the middle of their conversation, a loud noise was heard from the garage, and she made an excuse and told him that it was her cat. Before the private investigator left, he asked about the blood on the snow, and when she explained that it was from a bat, he warned her about them. She then went back to the garage armed with sharp wooden skewers that she turned into a cross and brought a box of her late mother's old clothes to give to Luke. When she went in and gave him the clothes, Luke asked for blood, so Olivia quickly ran to the store and got blood from the butcher shop. She heated a cup of blood and served it to Luke, which he then drank and kept asking for more until he was full and went to sleep again. When Olivia went back to the garage, she found Luke looking normal and a lot calmer. She then cannot contain herself and expresses her fascination with and interest in vampires to Luke. She then asked Luke some basic questions about vampires. In the middle of their conversation, he suddenly felt the presence of someone outside. He became enraged when he discovered Julius was in the house, and he then explained that the Severin group's goal was to hunt and kill vampires. Olivia then opened the garage door to set Luke free after getting insulted when he hinted that Olivia's fascination with vampires was stupid, which he then apologized for. He went on to say that he was not a bad guy and that he only drank people's blood rather than killing them. The next morning, when Olivia was on her way to give Luke blood, Julius barged into the house and forced Olivia to take him where Luke was. He entered the garage and stabbed Luke on the side, but Olivia came to his rescue and knocked Julius out with a snow shovel. When Olivia looked back at Luke, she was terrified to see that Luke had already killed Julius and drank his blood, making Olivia run out of the room. Olivia spent the whole day not having any contact with Luke. To make up for making Olivia upset, he read Olivia's manuscript for her novel and offered to give her notes on how she could improve it. Olivia invited him to her house, where he shared his thoughts on what to change in her living room. Olivia then took inspiration from the information that Luke told her about him not remembering anything from when he was human. The next morning, Olivia found Julius' car parked across the street and found an iPad with a passcode and a crossbow in the trunk when she decided to go in. Later that evening, she gifted Luke brand new clothes and invited him to a Christmas Eve dinner with her inside. When Olivia slept as they were watching a movie, Luke had difficulty stopping himself from biting Olivia's neck and drinking her blood. And when Olivia woke up, he quickly hid his face from her. When Olivia went to bed, Luke was visited by his friends who are also vampires, Jackie and Brock, who questioned him as a vampire. They then invaded Olivia's house after tricking Luke by asking him if they could see Julius' dead body in the garage. Jackie went upstairs and frightened Olivia, and when she ran downstairs, she discovered Luke being restrained by Brock. Jackie then took possession of Olivia's house and belongings before Olivia made her escape using Julius's car. Olivia then managed to open Julius's iPad and discovered the terrible truth about Luke's past from the records Julius kept of him as the vampires went on a killing spree later that night, killing 3 innocent men in the middle of the woods. Olivia then called the Severin group number and asked for help, but Simon, one of King's associates, told her that there weren't any vampire hunters available and they couldn't send immediate help due to a staff shortage. He then cautioned her not to handle the vampires herself after she told him that she would have to face them herself. The morning of Christmas, Olivia, armed with Julia's crossbow, went back to her cabin and dragged the sleeping Brock outside. When Brock suddenly woke up, he tricked Olivia into thinking that he was being burned by the sun, and when she failed to hurt him when she shot him with a crossbow, he chased her into the woods. She then impaled Brock through the heart when he managed to corner her. She then went back to the cabin, where she killed Jackie with the cross made out of skewers when they fought. Olivia then shoots Luke with a crossbow, seemingly killing him as well. The movie ended with Olivia becoming a famous author 10 months later and forcing an imprisoned Luke in her garage to be her muse in exchange for blood.